This is the Shotgun City Sheriff, the law himself, Clayton Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson.
This is the Young Titan, Aaron Atlas.
Hey, this is Matt Brannigan.
This is the Warbound Hellhound, Bo Sword.
This is your favorite drunken pro wrestler, a.k.a. the Bud Light Brawler, Dalton Davis.
This is Lizzie Six.
This is Jake Something.
And this is the jaw-jacking, back-cracking, God created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel, Rohit Raju, and you are listening to the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Hell yeah.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast? Yeah, that's right, I stuttered. Shut up.
Thank God that 2024 is over and we can go in to 2025.
Well, I mean, as this is recording, we still got a few hours left for shit to go wrong.
Well, if you're listening to this on the Patreon, yeah, there is a couple of hours. Don't put that out into the don't put that out. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spot Show Podcast, an independent wrestling podcast with a few pit stops along the way. I am one of your hosts, Jim Mint 10 Dickie Wabash, trying something new out.
I like it.
Trying something new out. That over there, that is the voice of the one-legged wonder, Mr. Michael Madrox. At some point during this podcast, we might be getting a special guest coming on. So we'll definitely keep that in mind. If he's not on the podcast, then he'll definitely be on podski. So pay attention to that one. Man, so
what a year, brother.
What a year. We're not going to do one of those.
We're not reviewing and memorizing, but I do have a bone to pick with you, Dickie Wabash.
And that is?
Last year, on the same week as episode podcast, we made predictions for 2024.
Oof.
And those went to the wayside. But I just want to say I whooped your ass.
Okay, so I, of course, talked about this on when I was on with Jumping the Rail. The original plan was that we were going to be making predictions for 2024, and we were going to bring on a third party to then judge how close we were on these predictions. And then Michael Madrox almost was unalive, and that threw a wrench in every single one of our plans that we had planned. That's why we had to get rid of the PLE draft, which is going to come back next year. We will bring that back post-Mania. I think that's breaking news, I think. Did I just break that news? Because you and I had talked about it.
And I think we might have some more competition in it.
There were talks of just not just you and I doing it. But yeah, we threw that out. We threw the predictions out.
I just want to throw it out there. That was Dickie's idea to throw it out. Myself and V, mind you.
You were, for all intents and purposes, dying. And you're texting me, man, I just beat your ass on SummerSlam, or whatever the pay-per-view was. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. You were going to win anyway. Big whoop. But anyway, yeah. So for those of you that don't know, we made some predictions into what we thought was going to be going on in wrestling in 2024. And you can probably figure it out. We were way off.
I had 3 off the top of my head that were correct.
Oh, man. But before we get into that, just want to remind you again, this is the Spot Show Podcast each and every week. That's right. We are back to weekly now. Myself, Michael Madrox, we get together, sometimes with a guest, sometimes just us, and we talk about this wacky, wacky world of independent, professional wrestling. Like I said, we take a few pit stops along the way. You never know where the tangent's going to take us, because what are we doing over here, Madrox? What are we doing, Frankie? Yeah, if you like what we got going on here, you can, of course, go on over to patreon.com/MadBash Studios. Back us at the $5 and above tier, and you can get this show early and ad-free. But you're also going to get other exclusive content, such as Paid Show, which is our post show for this show. There's also shows over there on the $5 and $10 tiers, such as Untitled Wrestling Commentary Show, Past Bash, a whole bunch of stuff that you can get over there. We got some plug skis. And upcoming dates. We don't have a booking until March. So look forward to that. You will see us at EPW Wrestleversary in March, on March 15th, I believe it is. It's either the 15th or I think it's the 15th. Yeah. It's so far out. It doesn't really matter. We'll get to that.
We'll correct the date when it gets closer.
Whenever we can too. Here's the thing. When this goes up to the public tomorrow on our YouTube channel, we, of course, have the debut of MadBash Wrestling Red Line. You can go on over to YouTube. You can check that out. Of course, if you're on the Patreon, then
You've already seen it.
Yeah, you've already seen it. It's already been up on the Patreon, you know. And then also we're going to talk about this a little bit also when we get into the show, because I kind of want to eulogize this series a little bit because it means so much to me. The Dreamers double feature has taken place now. Danville Dreamers Chronicles Dreamin' Ain't Easy is available on YouTube, and Danville Dreamers Chronicles Curtain Call is now available exclusively on the $5 and $10 tier on Patreon. That is where it will always be. It is never going to be made free. I've made that very clear. So if you want to finish the series, then you're going to need to sign up on Patreon so that you can watch it. But those are just some of the ways that you can support us there on Patreon. You know, you can go free, MadBashStudios.com. You can now take it to your favorite podcasting platforms. Leave us a 5-star written review. We very much appreciate any support that we can get from you guys. We're just a little two-man operation here. You know, we got the support system of the brothers, but at the end of the day, it's really just us trying to keep this thing going. We are the definition of independent. We are completely fan-supported over here.
I guess you could say we're DIY.
We are hashtag DIY, brother. We just beat the machine guns for the tag belts. But yeah, and then of course, sponsors for this episode, of course, are Elite Pro Wrestling and Venom Energy. So let's talk about these predictions.
All right, brother. I'm going to start with the weakest one I remember.
Okay, because this is how stupid we are. We didn't even keep a list of these predictions.
No.
We just, we had lists to make the predictions. To say, okay, I'm going to make this one, but we didn't label which ones. And instead of you would think that we would have gone back and re-listened to it, but we just haven't.
We don't do that shit. Come on now.
It's called show prep. We can't spell show prep.
Another year, another horrible women's War Games match.
Ooh, did you make that prediction?
I did make that prediction.
That it was going to be bad?
Yeah.
The one I remember that sticks out in my mind is I predicted that we were going to be getting the 4 horsewomen versus Damage Control in War Games.
That didn't work out, brother.
Nowhere near did we get that. I also predicted that we were going to see a UFC fighter in WWE and they were going to win a mid-card title.
Well, we did see a UFC fighter in the crowd.
Which
that could have got you a partial point.
Which would have gotten me some partial points, I'm sure. But I think the one prediction that I made that was actually the closest, AEW and Max.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen this year because it happens, I got to remember, this is what's weird about this, right? We obviously, to peel back the curtain, we pre-record these. So we always have to future proof to be hey, this is blah, blah, blah. But what makes this one even weirder is that we are recording it still in 2024.
Talking about 2025.
And now you're going to be hearing it in 2025. So that's what's making it a little bit hard for me. So when I say this year, to me, it's still
2024.
It's still 2024, at least for another few hours. So, yeah, I had made the prediction that a UFC fighter was going to win a mid-card title.
You had that TKO hype going through your brain.
Because TKO, the merger had just taken place after we made the predictions.
And everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
But
because that was the big thing of does this mean that
we get the crossovers?
The crossovers. We're going to be seeing, Conor McGregor might be in the WWE, blah, blah, blah. And then this little thing happened called a lawsuit. And Vince McMahon was ousted from his company. A couple of my predictions also had Brock Lesnar involved, and we have not seen him for a while.
Not at all.
And
Other
we
than
probably
random
will.
pictures on Twitter.
We probably will not see him for a while.
He's coming back to win the Rumble. Watch.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be going to this Rumble. Haven't decided yet. Like I'm looking at tickets. I'm weighing my options. Whatever. The
Parking's
only
going to be rough.
What's that?
Parking is going to be rough.
Dude, parking is always rough in Indy, dude.
Yeah.
Parking is atrocious in Indy. Like
I just remember seeing the people on Facebook complain about the Taylor Swift parking prices, so I can't imagine WWE parking prices now.
Well, oh, so you're talking about just prices and like you're talking about the price, not even just getting parking. Yeah, so parking can be. Of course, I haven't been to a Colts game in years, but I remember it being pretty outlandish, but not like too terrible. But anyway, I don't want to get off because then I want to go back to another point. The one Royal Rumble that I have been to is also the one Royal Rumble that you have been to.
You're
and
welcome.
It was the 2022 Royal Rumble, and it was an abysmal Royal Rumble. And it was the one where Brock Lesnar won. So my point in saying that I am probably going to Rumble is I really don't want to go to 2 Royal Rumbles and Lesnar wins them both.
I mean, in the defense, we did have a good day and after the Rumble there.
Had a great day. Do you want to tell the This Is Dustin with WWE story?
I forget. Oh,
that one's
parking
really
garage?
funny. Yeah, with the parking garage.
We were locked in the parking garage and you needed access to get in. And there was a call button. So I just reach over and hit the call button. And I go, yeah, this is Dustin with the WWE. I'm trying to get into the arena. And they open the door for us.
Because what happened is you pull into a parking garage and they say, you get your little ticket so that you can then scan it and you can leave. I have done this before. So
I think we all have.
This was the first time that I learned that maybe I shouldn't listen to Michael Madrox. Because I go, do I need to bring this with me? And you're like, I wouldn't worry about it. So I leave it in the car. And then as the door is shutting, I hear, Dickie, yeah. I turn around, ka-chunk. Must have your card for re-entry. I went, Madrox, you piece of shit. So,
I saved the fucking day.
You did. And thankfully there was like another entrance that we could go in or whatever. And they were like, yeah, they did open the door. And what was even more funny about that is we're leaving and Jeff the ref's like, Dickie, I'll pay for parking. Don't worry about it. And, we just left the parking garage.
It's because I work for the WWE, brother.
It's because you told him that we worked with the WWE. Yeah. So, my point with that, with the parking is, that's what worries me a little bit is not even that was weird because a ball just rolled here and nothing hit it and a ball just rolled across the floor.
Logan says this room is haunted, but I don't know.
It very well could be. Oh, speaking of Logan, look at who finally decided to show up. What do you think?
You're join the podski.
You think you're too good for a call time? Oh yeah, that's what I would say too. Hang on, we're gonna go ahead. Dickie, future Dickie, put in a little gimmick. We got to get Logan hooked up on a microphone. So Logan Madrox has joined us. We teased it at the beginning of the episode, but I'm going to finish my story because it's rude, and I would like to continue my story.
Okay, you do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to cater to you. I'm your vet. You need to understand this.
Okay.
So this is a very funny story, and I will not say who they were that did this, but we went to a Colts game when I was definitely older than Logan.
I thought you were going for the Hooters story.
Oh, no, the Hooters story, that one is really funny. I was going to, we can tell that story too. That one's really funny. That one's really funny. So, yeah, we decide to go to a Colts game. I don't know why I said I was around Logan's age because I was definitely like 19, 20. And I went with some friends and family, and we found this really good little parking section. It was right down the road from the stadium, whatever. And so we pay to park. But the thing was, people were in this parking lot just to tailgate. So they leave.
No.
Like 20 minutes before the game. So an hour before this, the parking lot's full. So the attendant shuts the gate and leaves. So someone that will remain unnamed ran down to the end of the road, and then someone that will remain unnamed stayed at the parking garage, and they started piling people into this parking lot, and they were charging them for it. That
is amazing.
That is a grift if I've ever heard of it, brother. That is, and they made a substantial amount of money just simply parking cars in a lot that they had no right to park people in.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's incredible. It's one of my favorites. So, I'll let you tell the Hooters story. And if I think that, because we got to be kind of careful about how we talk about it. I mean, nothing bad happened. It's just that there's certain things that, we have to be careful about how we talk about it
for future gigs.
Yeah, for future things, because we have been told specifically do not talk about doing this.
So anyway, we all know Jeff the Ref. I mean, he's one of our unsung heroes.
Oh, I love him.
Jeff Cow, baby. Somehow he got us production made polos for said Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And we decided,
just you and him though. You were walking around.
Yeah, because we had him before the show before.
Yeah. And you were just wearing these polos with the WWE logo emblazoned on it.
Yes.
So it looked like you worked for WWE.
Just for shits and giggles. Which, the toy store...
Yeah.
God damn, that day was a hoot. But anyway, back to Hooters. We're sitting there in our WWE polos, and we're surrounded by wrestling fans, because this was the closest Hooters to the building.
Yeah.
And I look at Jeff. Jeff looks at me and winks. And me and Jeff have this like telepathic conversation in our head, like, let's rile these motherfuckers up.
That's called giving the Iggy, brother.
And after the Iggy, me and Jeff just start going off like, I can't believe they're switching the winner this close to the show. We got to do this video package when we get back now. And I'm like, you tell me about it. I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning setting up the 2 practice rings, and we're just going back and forth.
You had that messed up a little bit, because you looked at me and you said, what time did you guys leave the building after you set up the practice rings? And I said, we got out about 3.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, we had to set it up for Knoxville, right? And I was like, yeah, we did.
And these fans are fucking losing it. Just like stopped eating their food with their mouths open, just looking at all of us, like waiting for us to spoil the Rumble for them.
And then,
God damn it.
If there was a chairman and CEO of missedthepoint.com, it would be this person.
Frank Tank.
We're talking like we're legitimately working for WWE and just fucking with these people. And there's a thing called subtlety, which is very much lost on this guy.
Full on Mark moment. That's all it was.
It's all it was. He goes, so Madrox asked me, he's like, is the ring holding up okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, ring was fine. We just had the bottom rope is fine. That's a deep cut reference. The bottom rope is loose as hell. So he goes, you ask me, so how was the ring? I was like, oh, the ring was fine, whatever. Yep, ring will be fine until Otis bumps in it.
We all just stopped dead in our tracks and facepalm and look at this guy like he is stupid.
You dumb fuck is what we were essentially talking about. But yeah,
and that's the only thing he contributed to the whole conversation.
Oh, the only thing.
For like an hour and a half. Like we were working these like tables surrounding us, like lot of people.
There were people, and I'm not lying when I say this, that legitimately requested to be moved closer to us because they saw the WWE polos, and I was wearing a WWE, I think I was wearing a Finn Balor shirt. So we all looked like that we could have worked for WWE, like we're just
absolutely just enjoying our lunch before the show started.
Our lunch before the show, which we were. And then, like, you alluded to the toy store. we walk into the toy store and like people are like, "Do you work for it?" I was like, "Yeah, we do." So we were essentially doing stolen valor for WWE.
My favorite part of the toy store though is when we were leaving. Me and Jeff were walking together.
Someone snapped a picture of you?
They asked if they could take their picture and put it on social media. And the owner of this toy store took mine and Jeff's picture and snapped it. And I go, "Oh, by the way, we left a couple tickets hidden in the toy store. Good luck to whoever finds them." And walked out.
Oh, I forgot that you did that. Logan, you know your dad can be a piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Sounds evil.
How funny is it that the first time that he was ever on the podcast, he was nervous as could be?
No, he's just chilled back, relaxing in his pink Nike shorts.
Yeah, just
leave my pink Nike shorts alone.
I'm not hating on him.
Don't forget his matching pink Terry Funk headband.
Oh, shit. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you really are going back to being a Clark Mark, aren't you?
No.
Trying to be like... So this is what's also funny about you, Logan, is the stages that you have gone through, because you were originally a Clark Mark.
Then he went to a Wabash kid.
And then you became Dickie, like you became a dickhead. And then you became
a brawler.
A brawler buddy. Ew, that's terrible for Dalton Davis fans. A brawler buddy.
I like it. It's a throwback to the Bash and Brawlers, bro.
Oh, yeah, it is. And now you're just kind of, what are you doing here?
I don't know.
I will say you have a better mustache than me.
Thanks.
And that's a shoot.
Look at this leg hair on this kid. Like, he's
I
gonna
know.
be a Yeti.
Here's what's so funny about you. And it's almost as if there's a natural thing that happens that makes all this take place. It's how much like of a shrimp that you were whenever I first met you. And now the Madrox genes have kicked in and you're like almost as tall as your dad now. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Same size shoes, brother.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. How I gifted you a pair of Jordans and then within a month you had grown out of them.
Well, actually, it took me forever to grow into them.
Yeah, I forgot that because I gave them. You were so excited.
Yeah.
You were like, "I got these. Look, Dad, Dickie gave me these Jordans."
And then I couldn't wear them for 4 months.
It was a while.
It was a while.
Yeah.
And then I finally grew into them, and now they like barely fit me. I need to buy new ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm out of the shoe game, brother. I got enough. Unless I see one that like really catches my eye, I'm pretty much out of the shoe game.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not like actively seeking, which is hard because when you're friends with Oliver Kane and he is also a sneakerhead and he's always sending you, dude, so I picked these up.
Got my Wolverines.
Yeah. So we need to get back on track here.
We have a track?
Predictions of 2024 that we were so wrong on.
Oh, I got 2 more that I was right on.
Oh, please.
AEW draws its lowest viewership ever.
You had that one dead on.
I think I hit that 3 times this year.
Oh, God. Yeah, because it just, the bar kept getting lower.
Lower and lower and lower. Like, what happened to AEW? Oh, yeah, Tony Khan took over booking.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, what was the other one that you were right about?
Dalton Davis winning a singles championship.
Yeah, Dalton Davis won his first a major singles title. Good for him.
Very good for him.
Good for him. We've already gone on the whole thing about congratulating Dalton. And like I said, we don't want to just get on here and repeatedly repeat ourselves.
I do got to bring up the past with Dalton Davis, though.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Dalton. You owe me a wing eating contest.
That does still need to happen. That's been a year in the making.
Multiple years.
Yeah.
Even before we announced it on the podcast, we'd always talk shit about it beforehand.
Yeah, that was officially made on Paid Show, though. That was made on a Paid Show, like, towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
Is when it was officially cemented.
That was the first Paid Show road trip, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't on the road trip. It was way after that, dude. This, because Spot Show road trip, which is something that I still want to do this year. We've only done one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do more of those this year. No, that was still the wing conversation got brought up because Jared Savage was putting over Cracker Barrel chicken tenders.
Oh, yeah.
And then V went and got them, and then V started putting over Cracker Barrel chicken tenders. So now I guess I need to try Cracker Barrel chicken tenders, Logan. I don't know. Have you ever had them?
No, I haven't.
We'll see. Look, that
Just
makes
don't
2 of us.
Cut them in pieces and put them in sauce and call them a wing.
Where do you sit on the whole boneless wing nugget conversation?
Oh, boneless? I can't consider a boneless wing a wing.
Thank you.
That's a chicken nugget.
Thank you.
I raised this kid right.
Thank you. I actually had some I almost said boneless wings, but that's just the vernacular. I just call them boneless wings. I had some for lunch today. Pretty solid. Yeah, I don't like the big one that I remember, of course, was that I predicted the women's war game match and was so off. And then I predicted that we were going to get Gunther versus Lesnar. And then I predicted that Lesnar was going to return at an overseas PLE.
And you predicted Balor had a world championship.
Yeah. No, I predicted Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for the world title.
Yes.
And this was before, because you made a dumb prediction that you were like, Damian Priest isn't going to cash in. He's going to hold it for a year, and then he's going to cash in.
I did.
And it was dumb, and it didn't happen. Like,
so.
what are you talking about? But no, my prediction was that we were going to get Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the
really
world
dumb
title.
prediction. Think about it. Something that hasn't been done yet.
But I don't understand the logistics of it.
Going from one Money in Bank to another without cashing in and then regaining it.
But why would you do that, though?
Just switch things up instead of all these failed
But no,
cash-in
let's
attempts
take
and
wrestling
shit.
logic out of it for a minute. Like, realistically, why would you do that?
It'd be the first time ever.
But again, realistically, Damian Priest, as a person, why would he do that?
Because he was in Judgment Day and he was a little hill bitch back then at the beginning of the year. He didn't find his grooving, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just a backup player.
I mean, wrestling logic, it does make sense because it's like, I'm going to be a 2-time Money in the Banker. I'm just going to hold on to it. But I was technically right because we got Balor, Priest, and Gunther.
But Priest wasn't the champion.
That's not what my prediction was. My prediction was Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for the world title.
Yeah.
Didn't say who champion had to be.
That's
it just
true.
said for the world title.
True.
Did you, I know you weren't
But
a part
did you
of
date it, though?
What's that?
Did you date it, though?
I just said this year.
Oh.
Oh, remember the other prediction? And then I'm going to get to you, Logan. I had a question for you. I said that we were going to get Punk and AJ Lee versus Becky and Seth at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That was a big prediction that I whiffed.
That was a big bold prediction.
That was one of my boldest. I made some weird. You said that the Creed brothers were going to go back to being jobbers, and do you think that you were correct on that
I'm
one?
fucking correct on that one.
God damn it! Did you have any expectations for the year that you felt delivered, or that you were really off on, whether it be independent or professional or whatever? Or do you not remember that far back?
I don't remember.
He did make a prediction though.
He did?
He said someone was going to leave MadBash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about that though. Yeah, so man, you being Logan, you have popped on a couple of times, but not like full blown been on the podcast. And wow, has your wrestling career really taken off since then. And I know it's a little bit early, but we're going to get ready to go to ads here so that we don't have to interrupt you in the middle of talking. So we're going to find out about Logan's independent wrestling career after we hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. We all love live entertainment, right? We all love live wrestling, right? Well, what if I told you that there is a place that combines the entertainment and the wrestling live that we all love? Look no further than Elite Pro Wrestling. Whether it's in person in Odin, Indiana, or Washington, Indiana, or if you check them out on YouTube, Elite Pro Wrestling guarantees a quality show that allows them to live up to the name Elite. If you're feeling generous, go ahead and check them out on Patreon as well. If you back them, you're going to get early access to all of their shows before they hit YouTube. Again, check out EliteProfessionalWrestling.com. This episode is brought to you by Venom Energy. Hey, we've all been there, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. Well, what I mean is that we've all hit that midday slump, and we all need a little push to get us through the rest of the day. Well, what better option to give you a pick-me-up than one of the wonderful flavors of Venom Energy? Venom is what gets MadBash through those long show days, and we know that it can do the same for you. I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you, too. Yeah. Come to our merch table when you see us at a show, and with the purchase of a MadBash Wrestling sticker or magnet, you get a Venom energy drink on us. While supplies last, of course, so you better act quick. We'd like to thank Venom again for sponsoring this episode. Please consume responsibly. Not recommended for children under 18, pregnant or nursing women, or people sensitive to caffeine. So we can't even call you Little Logan Madrox anymore because you've really kind of grown into your own. But we can call you, what was the second generation savior? Logan Madrox was the idea that we came up with for you.
Yeah, that was when we were thinking of what my wrestling name was going to be.
Yeah. Well, now you're in it, brother. You're officially in it. You've had a rough few months where you couldn't make it to shows, and that's to be expected. You're 13. You have prior obligations. But I mean, you just got to look at what happened with you this year and like all the stuff that you got to do this year. Let's just walk me through it.
Chat me up.
Did he officially, this was his first year reffing, right? Or was he reffing, were you reffing in 23 or no?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so you did make your debut. Oh yeah, because his debut, so let's start from the beginning. Your debut in wrestling was getting to walk out with the MadBash title to reveal the MadBash title a year ago.
Was that a year ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It feels like so much longer though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does to me anyways.
He looks so much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. First debut was walking out with the MadBash title.
Hell of a debut.
Huh?
Hell of a
That
debut.
was a hell of a way to debut.
I was so scared when we did that because I was like, oh no, what do I do after I walk out with it? Like, do I just stand in the ring, just stand there, look all awkward? I was so lost. I remember when I first started, I was so scared of everything. I was like, what if I fall? What if this? What if this? What if that? Just nervous all the time. Now it's just like, hell yeah.
And now it's like second nature to you.
Yeah.
And then, so then in February would have been your first match, right? That you got to ref? Or would that have been, when was it? Do you remember your first match that you refed? Because it was Yoder and Matt Maverick.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I don't know when it was.
Because Yoder picked you up and used you as the
weapon. Yeah.
As the weapon, yeah.
I'm gonna do a little research here and find out.
I'm pretty sure that was February. I'm pretty sure because
he hit him with the boy.
Yeah, he beat him with the boy, the Colby Jack, which now he's the MadBash Wrestling Champion. So there you go. Do you have a favorite match that you have gotten to ref yet? Or have you just like, obviously you've got to have some that are better than the others, but like
April 27th.
So it was April when you made your debut. Okay. So that was Yoder and Maverick. So you've been reffing since April. So you're getting to about a year in since you've been working. In that year, have you can you say that there's a match that's been your favorite or
at Hybrid, I liked my favorite match there was probably the Hype versus who were they going against? It was
was that that was
Avery.
GMT and Avery.
Yeah, that and then EPW is probably my first match because that's just my first doing it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've also got to ref a MadBash title match.
Oh, I have got.
Yeah,
to
you
do
got
that.
to do Cutler and Luminary.
I was wrong. It wasn't April. It was February.
That was February?
Yep, I got the wrong
thought so.
picture.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought so. Man, you're figuring out what we have figured out a long time ago is that time is so all over the place when it comes to wrestling.
Yep.
It feels like yesterday, and it could be like 4 years ago.
I blink, and it seems like it was literally last weekend that you were in the ring with Colby Jack learning lockups and learning chain wrestling with Clayton Clark, and Cecil Cerveza was teaching you how to bump, and Terry was showing you how to do a little ref slide, and Ollie was working with you, and who all of all the people that you've worked with, because you've had
a who's who of trainers.
You've been lucky with who you've gotten to Clayton, me, your dad, Dalton, Colby, Ollie, Terry, Shank. Shank was even doing some stuff with
Oliver.
you. Oliver was showing you some stuff. Like, you really got it lucky, dude. Who is someone that you would say has, and you don't have to necessarily say what the advice was unless you want to. Who is someone that gave you the best advice?
Oh, God. I don't even know. I gotta think.
Well, that's good to know that it resonated with you. That's good to know.
Well, I
That it
mean,
really
like you
stuck
just
with you.
rattled off that fucking list. Like that's a lot
Well,
of good
yeah.
advice
Yeah,
coming
that's
from
a
a lot
lot.
of great
I've
minds.
had so much advice from so many people, and it's all really been great. I can't really, actually, never mind. Can't say that.
I'm curious. You'll tell me
Okay,
when we're done.
So, okay.
You don't have to say it unless it's something that's going to get us canceled.
Oh, it won't get you canceled.
Just go hard.
I was thinking, I haven't been given bad advice, but that's not true. I have. Oh, my bad.
We can get into some bad advice on. We'll get it on Paid Show. Some of the worst advice you've got.
Oh, God.
Good thing you're already home.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've had so much great advice, I can't think.
Well, I know some advice that I gave you was I just got on you about how you were just like
slouching, yeah.
weirdly slouching over people. And I remember I pulled you and I said, get your
Stand
size
tall,
about
brother.
you, Logan. You're the authority figure in there. How are they going to respect someone if you're all slouching around? You know what I mean?
You go fucking C-shaped in some matches.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, you're young and you're learning, but that's the thing. You're learning. And here's what I have put you over for this a couple of times. You talk about that hybrid show. You had never reffed a tag team match. You had 2 that night.
Yeah.
And the advice that I gave you from
the first match,
you used in the second match. And
it was like night and day.
Yes. And I remember one thing that sticks with me on that night is going up to Christian Rose and saying, "Hey, Rose, did you get to watch any of the tag match?" He's like, "No, I didn't get it." I caught some of it, but nothing. And I was like, "Okay, well, the reason I ask is because my green kid is the referee, and I wanted." And he goes, "Whoa! You have Dickie has green kids now?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's my commentary partner's son." And he was like, "Oh, look at you with green kids." And it was really funny to hear his reaction of being like, "You have green kids now?" And it's like, "Yeah, I do."
Grandpa Rose.
Yeah, old man Rose. So, what is something that, because your dad and I talked about it last episode, what we want to accomplish, but now that we've got you here, what is something that you wish to accomplish with your wrestling career in 2025?
I know it's early, but I don't want to be referee all 2025. I want to be a manager at one point.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty good goal.
That's a pretty good goal to have. Do you have any other aspirations? I mean, obviously you want to be a wrestler. You're too young to be a wrestler right now. I think you're fine as a referee. You would be good as a manager as well. But do you have any aspirations to learn like any behind the scenes stuff? Which I think I already know the answer to this question.
I would like to learn like how they make like all the special, like not special effects.
You want to learn the production aspect
Yeah,
of
production, yeah.
Yeah, didn't you come to me and say that you wanted me to teach you how to edit video and stuff?
Yeah, because I wanted to start making short films with my friends.
Oh yeah, I can definitely help you on that for sure. I'm not saying that I'm the best, but I mean I can give you like
He's got a good mentor though.
Yeah, I can give you some pointers. I don't necessarily know if I'm a good teacher though. I mean because it makes sense in my head, and I'm mostly self-taught. With the exception of like V has given me advice, I would say that V is the one that really taught me how to edit, and then I just learned the rest of it myself. It's mostly just trial and error, to be honest with you. But Yeah, so you really are wanting to go down the whole MadBash path of where it's not just wrestling.
Yeah.
You're wanting to learn how to make movies, and you're wanting to do all this other stuff, which I really respect that, because I was the same way when I was your age, but I just didn't have the means to do it. And you definitely have it in front of you right now, where the world is your oyster, for lack of a better term. And you have all the tools to do it. You just got to do it. You know what I mean?
I've also gotten into acting.
Really? I didn't even know this one.
Yeah, I started my school. I saw a flyer at my school. It was like for theater. I was like, that's cool. I guess it's like acting. I'll try it. And then I signed up for theater, and then I think my first play is in February.
Okay. This is news to me. I didn't know about this.
Yep, kids doing it all.
I'll have to try to make it to that. A good one to talk to would be Clayton. Clayton was in theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He would definitely be someone to talk to about that.
Yeah.
He can probably give you some pointers in wrestling and theater.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about MadBash. We got all aspects of entertainment covered in some way or form.
We're so multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
We're the Swiss pocket knife.
We really are. We really are. Yeah, the War Pigs can be the Swiss Army knife. We're the Swiss pocket knife.
Yeah.
We just whip out and we throw out a documentary or a. I've been known to make a highlight package or two in my day.
And we could also open a bottle of wine.
And that as well. That's very important. That's very important. Yeah. So is that something that you've always wanted to do, or is it just something that kind of just threw itself and then you were like, yeah, I'd like to give that a try?
It was something I was like,
He's wanted to be a YouTuber since he was like 3.
Well, that's just his generation.
Yeah.
That's just Gen Z. That's just, they all want to be.
Everyone, I remember growing up, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to be a big YouTuber when I'm older. I remember this. And then I was like, and then I started thinking to myself, I was like, YouTube, really? I don't think that's. There's so many YouTubers in the world, but some of them make it big and some of them don't. I didn't think I would be able to make it there. And you keep on looking at my hand. It's scaring me.
No, I look around a lot when I record. I'm very aware of my surroundings.
And I was like thinking acting. I remember I was told by someone that was like, you're not going to find anything in acting. That's not a good pathway. And I was like, okay. And then I kind of was like, okay, I'll find something else that I would like. And then I was like, everyone in my family, other than him, is pretty big military. And I was like, okay, I'll maybe do military when I'm older, because I've been thinking about what I want to do. And then acting came up again. I was like, you know what? I actually want to try this. I want to see what that's like.
And what better way to have a foot in the door than with professional wrestling? Because, the two go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, yeah, good for you, man. That's really good that you, have all this ambition and stuff that you want to, seek this out. I had a question, and I've already fucking lost it, and I don't remember what it was going to be. But it was, it wasn't a question. It was going to be a statement. I feel, so some of the best advice that I ever got was from Gerard the Completionist. And then he got in trouble for charity fraud. So great person to take advice from. When I was first getting into wanting to do YouTube, I had just left wrestling in 2015 and I knew I was going to be going into YouTube. And he said to me that we will not see the rise of the next great Let's Player because the Let's Play bubble was about to burst. So then that made me have an existential crisis of oh no. So then what does that mean for me? Because I want to get into YouTube and I'm leaving wrestling to do this. And then I discovered the edutainment style videos that you can see on Past Bash at the $10 tier.
Plug skis.
And so it's all about just finding your niche, And I personally, I don't know. I think YouTube is not really the route to go in a weird way because it is hard to get into, but I'm also not going to sit here and tell you not to try it. I think what ends up happening with content creation is that we see the fluctuation. There for a while, it was all about live streaming. And then it went back to YouTube content creators, and then back to live streaming, and then back to YouTube content creators. And
It's a coin flip.
it's a coin flip. And that's the problem with it, is just getting the growth of it, like getting your own spin on something so that people actually give a fuck about
I mean,
what
we're
you're doing.
trying, and YouTube is like our weakest platform.
Yeah, it is. And I think that we're partially to blame for that, because we diversify our YouTube channel too much. But that's a conversation for behind the scenes. Would gaming be something that you would do if you were a YouTuber, or would you try to make other things?
Oh no, I would not do gaming.
So what would it be? Have you, unless you just don't want to reveal it,
I don't
keep it in your back pocket.
I don't know. Probably short film, like I said, short films with my friends.
Telling you, start with a documentary. That's the easy. That's what I did. I started with Danville Dreamers, which we call that a segue. Let's talk about Danville Dreamers now.
Before we head to Danville Dreamers, though,
Yes.
I have an idea.
What's that?
We have all that footage from his birthday, and he's wanting to learn how to edit. He can make his own little documentary about the day in his perspective.
Yeah, you could. I could just give you all that footage.
Yeah.
It's like gigs and gigs of footage. It's like maybe, I don't remember how many gigs of footage, but there's hours of footage.
We have flash drives.
We have flash drives. Yeah, get video editing software, and I'll get you that footage, and you can futz around with it and try to make your own little vlog about it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So now let's talk about me. Man, I got a little emotional because Danville Dreamers is over.
That's one of your first entertainment.
That's my
babies.
baby. That's my baby.
That is the first entertainment baby, is it not?
No, because I was doing YouTube.
Kayfabe Diaries.
I don't count that.
Yeah, you got to count that.
Well, if we want to get technical, I mean, I was doing stuff in middle school, but no, this was really my first major project. Let's put it that. It was my first major project, was Danville Dreamers, and that was 2016, and now here we are, 2024, and the saga is over. The saga is over. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we released Danville Dreamers, and then we did Danville Dreamers 2, and then we did the Danville Dreamers Chronicles series of movies.
We left out the Wabash cut before, too.
The Wabash, yeah, we did do the Wabash cut. And then we did 2, and then we did the Chronicles, and which was Coal Miner's Glove, Dreamin' Ain't Easy, and Curtain Call.
Devil's Terror.
And the reason that it is called Curtain Call is because it's the final one. We're not going to do any more Danville Dreamers documentaries. We're done making that style of content. The documentaries have their place, and they are done. So I got really emotional as I was editing Curtain Call, because I'm like, man, this is the last time which it's not going to be the last time that we work with NVW, mind you. We're just not making any more Danville Dreamers documentaries.
Yeah.
Which Curtain Call is my favorite one, I think.
Out of everything?
Out of all because there's 5, 6 if you count the Wabash cut. There's 5 documentaries, and 4 of them are on YouTube. Again, I hate to keep plugging it, but the Curtain Call one is a Patreon exclusive, here's something that I forgot to mention in the podski section. You can gift Patreon subscriptions now.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. You can gift subscriptions, whether it be $5 or $10.
Grandma needs to watch this documentary.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really emotional making it. And what makes this one so unique compared to the others is the way I filmed it. Because calling this thing a documentary is actually kind of doing it a disservice, I feel like, because there wasn't much documenting going on. I just turned the camera on, and I would do these really cool one-shots, which at this point, if you're on the Patreon, you've seen the movie, I'm sure. And
I'd call it more like shadowing, because that's basically what you did. You shadowed the events that day with the camera.
Well, I say it in the beginning. We went to a wrestling show, and we didn't film any wrestling. which is kind of what we had always done when we went to do these Chronicles movies. But this one was different because, like, I would start in the ring with the wrestling, and then I would see Mr. Six go walking. I would follow Mr. Six, and then he would go off this way. Then I would walk back through the curtain, and I'd walk in midway conversation with a conversation between Jimmy Carrot and, let's just say, Clayton. And then you go over here, and here's Oliver taping his ribs up, and you walk back here, and here's Kid Riot being Kid Riot, and I swoop back around, and now Cecil has come into frame, and he's talking to Clayton. I walk back through the curtain. Mr. Six is now talking to someone else, and it's just my favorite shot in the whole movie is I'm walking, excuse me, and I see Mr. Six, and he sees these two guys, and they're like, "Come on, let's go talk." So then you see them walk, and they're talking off in a hallway. Then I go off and do my own thing. I come back, and then you walk down the hallway, and there he is talking to him. So it was just this really weird slice of life thing that was really unique.
It's the ultimate peek behind a curtain.
Yeah. And it almost doesn't feel like a Danville Dreamers in a way. Because it just, I mean, there are elements to it because it's in VW. But I think what's so great about Danville Dreamers is that it's really taken on a life of its own. And, you know, we spent an entire podcast me gushing about Danville Dreamers, so I'm not going to. But, I mean, it's my magnum opus. It's the proudest thing I've ever worked on. And the bar is pretty high, but I think I can, go past that. I don't want to, I have said this, I have no problem just being labeled, oh, that's the Danville Dreamers guy. But then at the same time, it's like, I've got other shit that I'm working on, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
The way you were describing it kind of sounded like kid in a candy shop. It's like, ooh, look at that over here. Look at over there. Look at over there.
That's pretty much how it was filmed. And I went into it not having any intention on filming it that way. It was going to be a standard Danville Dreamers documentary where we're talking to people, we're doing this. And then I just did this one shot, and then I was like, there we go. That's the cusp of the documentary. Because I have not gone into a single, that's a lie. I have gone into one Danville Dreamers documentary knowing what it was going to be about, and it was Coal Miner's Glove. I knew that Coal Miner's Glove was going to be following Chris Halls. And then the second Danville Dreamers Chronicles movie, which is Dreamin' Ain't Easy, that was supposed to be about Tyler Scott.
Yeah, but he showed up late.
And we pivoted, and then we made it Dreamin' Ain't Easy, which just shows like the struggles that they face running the shows, which was pretty cool. Because like there's this through line in Dreamin' Ain't Easy where it's like, is Kindle Fire coming? Is Kindle Fire coming? Is Kindle Fire coming? And then he shows up. He ended up making it. So that was really cool to get to have the bow on that. Was
shout out Kindle Fire though. That's dedication.
Commitment. That's commitment and dedication to a booking. See, Kindle Fire may be late, but he always makes it. You need to learn about call time, Zeus.
Okay, well, I was late, but I was late, okay?
He wasn't even booked, Terry.
Yeah, you're gonna pull a Cecil and cancel a show that you're not even booked on. But yeah, that's what's great about them is that, you know, we're always going to be able to look back on those Danville Dreamers documentaries. And like Danville Dreamers 1 was pre-MadBash. The only ones that have been MadBash has been 2 through Curtain Call. So it's definitely different. Because that's back when it was Rocket Grunt Josh was when I made Danville Dreamers. But now we're here with MadBash.
Which company do you think's better?
Oh, MadBash for sure. MadBash for sure. The people that I'm working with don't fucking think they're sidekicks. Oh my god. But
you ever call me Robin, I'm walking.
But yeah, man, it was very bittersweet. It was very bittersweet. And Logan, I hope that one day you find a project that you have that you can milk for as long as I milked Danville Dreamers.
Yeah, I had a crazy idea while you were talking about that. I'll tell you about that after.
Oh, he's over here coming up with ideas.
The self-destruction of MadBash Studios. This is just going to be a Logan with a GoPro following us for the next 2 years.
Yeah. There were a couple, because like I was telling my friend about this. As much as we are engrossed in wrestling and as much as we do wrestling, it's like we do more
We are so much more than wrestling.
So I want the next, whether it be a documentary or it be a short film or whatever, to not be wrestling. Because
I'm all for that, dude.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about A Merry Mad Bash Christmas.
I guess they got to tune into Paid Show.
We'll talk about that on Paidski. But like, even at its core, that's about wrestling, because it's still Clayton Clark and Dalton Davis, these wrestling characters that are going that are going against each other. It wasn't Dalton and Clayton outside of gimmick, and I would like for it to one day do a thing of where it's like, it's not Clayton Clark, it's Clayton Clark as Dalton Davis, as Michael Madrox, as Logan Madrox, as
playing characters,
and there might be a few things in the works.
I'm ready for the Mad Bash album.
You say this
Oh my God.
all the time. That is your go-to. That is your recurring bit that you always bring up, is that you want to make an album.
Dude, tell me it would be great.
No, it wouldn't.
Think of the WWF album in the 80s. All of us.
Pile Driver?
Yeah, brother.
Oh my God. Logan, what is wrong with this man?
I don't know.
How is it that you are his son and you're so much more normal than him?
I don't know.
He's over here dressed like Marty Jannetty, and you're telling him
You
he's
are
more
dressed
normal
like
than
Marty.
me?
MJ in the house. That's my highlight of this year, getting to FaceTime Marty Jannetty.
Good times.
We may have already kind of asked this, and maybe you didn't answer, and maybe you did. I don't know. I've forgotten. It's hot in this room. What was your favorite moment of the year, Logan? Did you pick one?
He has not.
Oh, yeah. So what was your... It doesn't even necessarily need to be one that you were involved with. What was your favorite Mad Bash moment of the year, and why?
I'm sorry, I'm thinking.
Do you need me to run down a list of like what all
No.
happened this year?
Honestly, the title being introduced.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Non-selfish answer like we picked.
Yeah, we did pick very selfish answers. That was a good moment. That was a really good moment. And I got to give again. I got to again give a shout out to EPW for allowing us to unveil the title on their show. That was really cool. That was really cool to get to do that. That whole day, I was like, because I remember walking in with the belt, and then just like, I remember being backstage before the show and thinking, did I leave the belt on the merch table when the doors were open? And I was like, I didn't. I had remembered to bring it to the back. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. And then, forgive me again, because I know that we talked about you're wanting to make movies, you're wanting to editing, whatever. Do you have any other goals for 25, or
I don't
know.
know.
Is that pretty much it? Just those two main things?
Yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah, you don't want to overwhelm yourself. You don't want to
Small
overwhelm
goals.
yourself with too much. I think, and I've said this before to you into these microphones as well, as long as you feel, this is how I handle things. If you can look back on the year before and you're in a better place than you were the year before, that's the secret. You're golden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the problem is, it's a good problem to have. Boy, howdy, did we set the bar very high this year. And we talked about that because we introduced titles. We introduced new shows. Here's something we need to talk
Introduce
about.
Mad Bash Films.
We are cooked if TikTok gets banned. Because that's the whole core of the Detonate division.
We'll still have Instagram Reels.
We'll still
Facebook
do it on
Reels.
Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook. But the whole point of it is to have it on TikTok. And which that is coming. That one just got delayed a little bit. That one's going to be a lot of fun. That one's going to be a lot of fun. But I was just thinking about that on the way here because I have a friend. Her and I send TikToks back and forth all the time. And I was like, what are we going to do if the ban goes through? And she was like, oh, we've got Instagram. Speak of the devil. she just sent me 2 TikToks. So that was. So that's a funny story. When we were doing, I haven't even told her about this. Whenever we were doing the Engage segment for the last Washington show,
Yeah.
I had my lines in my head about what I wanted to say, and then my watch vibrated because I have notifications for certain apps that go to my watch, and just on instinct I looked down at my watch, and it was her sending me a TikTok. And it derailed me because for a brief moment, Josh took over and forgot that he had a live mic and a camera pointing on him. And I just, engage. It was really funny. It was really funny. So I guess just be sure you take your smartwatches off whenever you walk out to do,
Anything on a live mic.
Yeah, to do live mic segments. But, yeah, let's wrap this one up, boys. We're gonna be rolling into Paige's show. Logan is gonna probably talk about some of the worst advice that he ever received. We'll figure out between if it's gonna be good enough or if he should even talk about that. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Christmas special and just see where it takes us. Maybe we'll dive more into my Pokemon card collecting.
Oh boy,
like I did last time. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I know this was a rough year. 2024 was a very rough year for a lot of us, whether it be professional, personal. I know that I am ready for 2024 to be gonski and looking to the future of 2025. I know that big things are going to be coming. Because I've got 2 people here with me with microphones in their hands that I know are going to be a part of it. Sky's the limit. And I hate to say sky's the limit because I feel like that it's just so generic at this point, but I mean, it's the truth. I mean, you look at how consistent that we have been, and then now we got this fire underneath us to grow even more because of the bar that we have set. And let's go.
Let's fucking rock it, bro.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Shake and bake, baby.
All Logan's got to do is get his grades better so that he can actually start coming back to shows and reffing.
That's going to be cut, I hope.
Really? You really want me to cut that?
Yep.
Why?
Too bad.
Oh, no.
Why?
Well, now all the fans know I have bad grades. Yay.
You were sitting there the whole time thinking, don't mention the bad grades. Don't
Surprise.
mention
Happy
the
New
bad
Year, Logan.
grades. Yeah, surprise. Happy New Year. Logan was, that's why Logan missed a few shows this year because he was grounded.
Yep.
You're 13. That shit's going to happen. I remember being 13. I had bad grades too.
No,
But
he didn't.
What?
No, he didn't.
Me? Oh, dude, I was a terrible student.
Flunked out of college, brother. Come on now.
No, I dropped out. There's a difference.
same thing.
I dropped out. I did not flunk. I
Where'd you go to
dropped out.
college?
Huh?
Where'd you go to college?
I'm not going to divulge that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I was a terrible student, man. I got by the skin of my teeth.
Oh.
Like my grade point average was probably like not even 3 like probably 2.9 or something. Like it had to be in the 3s.
Exceptional honor roll every year.
No,
Sorry.
I never made honor roll.
No, I'm talking about me.
Oh, you? Yeah, bullshit.
Look it up. It's on Google.
Did you really make exceptional honor roll?
Yeah, dude. I was smart in high school. I took all the classes I liked.
Yeah, you did. Well, it probably also doesn't help that my senior year, 4 out of the 5 classes I took print shop. You did
Print
too?
metal shop,
You
baby.
did too? Hell yeah, that was the way to do it. That was the way to do it. All right, Logan, I saw that you are now on TikTok. Do you post anything on there that you want to plug it or
No.
Okay, well, whatever.
He just does that to follow us.
No plugs for Logan. You can, of course, find Madrox at the word 1 and then the number 900-909-9900 on Instagram. You can, of course, find me on Instagram at DW_mischievous_rabbit. Find us on MadBashStudios.com. Links to all of our
socials.
We got to get the TikTok on there because the Detonate division is going to be coming to the TikTok.
MadBash.studios on TikTok.
You're not going to find me.
You're not gonna. Well, that was very foreboding. You're not gonna find me. But yeah, guys, this was a fun little podcast. The first podski of the year. We're going back to weekly. I'm excited. So we're gonna roll right into paid show for those of you that are on Patreon, and the rest of you, we'll see you down the road on some form of content.